You are listening to Beyond the Verse, a StarCitizen podcast. A show dedicated to Cloud Imperium games, StarCitizen, and Squadron 42. Whether you fight, explore, unite, and or trade, we bring you news, updates, interviews, reviews, and analysis. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a pour of Radagast, and join us as we go Beyond the Verse.
Launch sequence activated.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Beyond the Verse, StarCitizen podcast. I'm your host, Sulyce, and on today's episode 115, we dive into the launch of the Ship Showdown 2955. Yes, it is back already. These years are going by so quickly. It's where the community decides which ships deserve the spotlight. We also explore the July 30th Roadmap Roundup, reflects on ongoing 421, we'll call them frustrations, and highlight community comments and polls from the last episode. Actually, the last two episodes. So from hopeful predictions to persistent bugs, we're going to navigate all of this together, one patch at a time. So yes, grab your favorite glass of Radagast. This is going to be one of those episodes where we are going to cover the frustrations, but I don't think it's going to go the way you think it will. So enjoy that Radagast, but not like on the road. Okay, you crazies. I know some of you are like, hey, Sulyce said, let's drink and you're driving to work this morning. Let's not break any laws. Okay, cool. All right, you heard it here. I'm on record saying that. All right. Well, I hope this finds everybody well. It's been a long time since we last recorded. Again, if you recall, episode 114 was with Soul Provision's leadership, and that was recorded not last Sunday, but 2 Sundays ago. So it's been quite some time, and we've been able to get further into 421, and when we've been able to kind of mitigate and figure out ways to get around some of the nuances. So hopefully you have as well. Hopefully you have progressed through the event. We actually have a couple of individuals in Soul Provision that have finished all 4. So Hurston, R-Corp, Crusader, and Microtech, they've gotten all 2,800 SCUs and they're ready to go. And that just blows my friggin' mind because I haven't even finished one. I am still working on Crusader. And I think some of that is like, I don't know, like having the job with the kids. I'm not saying they don't, but like having the job with the kids, I already don't have a lot of time to play. Excuse me. And so when I do, and the game decides to StarCitizen me, I can't really recover from like a play session. And I think that's some of the feedback that you are experiencing as well. But before we get into all of that, we always go to the comment section to bring your voice into this podcast. And we're going to do so going back to 2 episodes ago, because again, we didn't cover the comment section on episode 114 with Soul Provision's leadership. So let's actually get into, I guess, like a lot of comments, but we're going to go quickly through them, and it will go somewhat quick. So here we go. Let me share my screen. I didn't even do the cool little, I'm going to anyways. Watch this.
Incoming message.
You do all the work to get it together on your, stream deck. You might as well use it. All right. Episode 113. If you recall, this is where the Race for Stanton launched. The Meteor launched. And so to the comment section, we go to a Caven Armstrong. They write, where can I find your other socials? Been watching the podcast for about a month now and love the info. As always, guys, beyondtheversehq.com or soulprovision.com. That's going to get you to our landing pages that has literally everything you want to know about everything we do. But on most socials, it's BTV_cast if you really want to find us directly, but hopefully that answers your question. Soundwave Ghost writes, this episode lasted till I sat down at my desk at work. Your shorter time frame is forgiven. I feel like they gave us the Mantis and the Meteor out of order from a shot perspective. Actually, I do agree with that. The rule of cool is winning over sense, though, as you come up with the fun ideas before you do practical, usually. Little funny, this doesn't include salvage, but they reopened the Reclaimer for sale. Had a great time hanging for Orgnite and looking forward to Orgnites to come. Grieved writes another great episode. Glad you are getting some time to hang out with your family. The Meteor is intriguing and beautiful. Not sure if I will get one. It should have been $200 at most, in his opinion. Enjoying this patch despite the bugs and the design flaws. Hopefully they add more locations to pick up the hauling items and spread people out a bit so the locations feel less like a Costco parking lot. I love the analogy on a Saturday afternoon. I am way excited for the next week's podcast. Groza and Jenner are awesome. And it was a phenomenal episode. Go watch episode 114. Snoop Dogg writes, great episode as always. Perfect background podcast to play while hauling. So far, I have been greatly enjoying the hauling aspect of the event. I am tier 3 so far with Microtech. Hashtag Hurston sucks. Preach. And I cannot wait to try out all these new paints with my new armor and gear. Plus, I like how these recent patches have included a sort of reverse effect where each of the post 4.0 sandbox activities, like contested zones, Hather, the ADS sites, or Stormbreaker, have been slowly getting better and better and more easy to do without the quote-unquote new traffic, or new event traffic. I agree. I'm going to get into that here in a little bit when I respond to 421, but I actually agree with you. Zayek, the last comment for episode 113, writes, the Meteor being released with bespoke ballistic weapons as one of its selling points is an interesting and confusing bit at the same time, knowing how ballistics stand at the moment. My hopium take is that they did this because they might take a look at this class of weapons in the near future and rebalance them. Ship combat feels very unexciting with it being boring, being a boring red laser versus boring red laser. Got it. Hell, I'd be happy with some more laser colors for now. Imagine each manufacturer having its own colored laser. I like this. For some reason, I'm going Star Wars and like different colored lightsabers. Like, why not have like RSI with the red lasers and Crusader with, blue lasers? Like, I totally get it. Like, I get the sentiment. And that's it for episode 113's comments. We can actually go straight over to episode 114, and I'll just do a general response to everybody's messages. So let me click through this real quick. Episode 114, boopity boop. Comments section and open comments. Here we go. So this actually is the response to the episode with the Soul Provision leadership. So again, Kevin Armstrong, welcome back, writes, I'm going to have to agree as far as they missed the mark on the price point. I'm trying to remember the RSI Meteor. So what we had Groza and Jenner from Soul Provision join us, and we kind of rehashed episode 113. Episode 113 was like the facts of like, here is what released, but we didn't have a lot of time to react to it. And then we had episode 114 where we kind of emotionally, that sounds kind of weird, not emotionally, but maybe the qualitative reactions to those releases. And so we rehashed the Meteor launch and 421. So that is what Caven's responding to. Shadow Ranger, who won our giveaway. So again, we recorded on a Sunday, but the giveaway still happened on that next Friday. Shadow Ranger won the RSI Meteor. So again, congratulations. I can't talk. Congratulations, Shadow Ranger. They write, thanks Sulyce and CIG for the RSI Meteor. It's funny I won because I was just talking during Orgnite last night to my squad that I needed to find a harder hitting dedicated fighter for PvE. I only had small fighters like the Gladius and the Arrow for PvP and needed something harder hitting to kill NPCs faster. I was tossing between the Saber and the Hornet, but now I'll have this slick Meteor. Thanks again. And I will say, just to respond to that, yeah, I do see the Meteor as a PvE, as an environment ship, just because there are better medium fighters and, of course, other fighters for player versus player. So I think the bespoke cannon kind of limits its flexibility, it's customization. Like, I don't know. So there's a little bit there that if you had the money, you can always upgrade another ship to be significantly better. But the Meteor is a phenomenal ship to live out of. Again, a medium fighter, you can, like I said, live out of it. You can bedlog. You can go to a bunker, do what you need to do, and don't have to go back to an orbital station or a planet site to log out. You can log out right there in your bed, which is important for somebody like me. So I agree. I like the Meteor. Is it a must-have? No. Is it going to win the Ship Showdown? No. I kind of have a feeling who will. And we'll get into that. So next comment from Billy the Beast. Number 1, I like that there's a tractor beam on the raft, but it handles so poorly. To me, it feels like trying to fly or land a huge ship in third person while drunk. LOL. I'd much rather just use the Atlas over the raft tractor beam. Maybe it's just an I suck issue. Number 2, best meta should be from crafting, but it usually comes from raid or PvP. Crafting gear should always have the meta end game. So towards the end of episode 114, we did talk about, like, is fashion the true end game? Is crafting the armor or crafting the weapons, like, should that be better than going through like a 25-person raid? And that probably triggered everybody's World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls Online PTSD. But that was kind of the question, is like, what should StarCitizen aim to do? Should it aim to bring in everybody who's maybe not in a massive org, who just loves to craft and they can be part of the end game? Yeah, I mean, I think that's where I'm headed with that. I absolutely think that that's where this game should be. Crafting to build the best ships, right? To build, you should have to play the game in order to make or to get the best equipment. So I like the Wicklow, even though Wicklow sucks right now and it's broken, and I still don't like it. I think it's kind of the right direction. Like, you really have to bust ass in order to get the materials, in order to get theoretically the Polaris, right? Not to trigger any listener who might be in supervision. I actually like the Raft's tractor beam. I actually do like it. Is it sensitive? Absolutely. That thing is super sensitive. But I tell you what, going to a planet side large cargo recovery, right? It's like, going to a derelict site and having to kill the NPCs. Like, you can actually fly above the site, find out where the cargo boxes are, and just rotate that ship to about 150 meters away from the boxes. Go over to the inside access of the tractor beam and just pull the boxes into the raft without ever having to get out of your ship. And it's got massive hull HP, so it's not like small arm fire is going to bring down your shields, right? No, it's kind of a cheese way, and I'll get into like why I feel like that's a cheese way, but it's got a phenomenal range to its tractor beam, and it is fast. You just have to get used to it. I'm not saying it's a you suck issue. I'm not agreeing with you in your first comment, but it's come around, right? It's come around. You get used to it, I think. But it is like, I don't know, I get everything onto the raft. I fly it to an orbital station like Seraphim. I'll get out, but like you still have to get out of your ship to go and turn in the freight elevator, right? So it's like, you might as well go ahead and get out of your ship in that situation and just use your tractor beam, handheld tractor beam, to get everything off. But more about 421 here in a second. Moving on, Bender writes, need more blast sound bites. So this is an inside comment from Soul Provision. We have a beloved member named Blast Resort. Dude is known for his one-liners. Last night was no exception. So he's saying that I should get a soundboard and drop some of that either on the podcast or during Org Night. Love him to death. Mike Gilkey writes, congrats Shadow Ranger on winning the giveaway. And then Dan, let's go ahead and click on see more. Dan writes, hi, Dan here. First of all, thank you every time for the podcast. I think it's amazing on info for people that don't feel like hopping on the site like him to find the latest. I just wanted to react to Wicklow. I actually saved up my script, around 1,000 script. I don't have to read the rest of this comment, guys. Like, I already know. I already know where he's going with this, sadly. Back to the comment. I actually saved up my script around 1,000 for the patch, as it would be a lot better with the new contract system. Yet after you deliver the first contract, you ain't getting a new one. So I guess I'll just hang on to them all. Jeez. Yeah. Off topic. Groza, get on. I hate key cards. Or I have key cards for you. And then P.S. Sulyce, love the beard. Well, thanks. I spend a lot of time on the beard, and I'm okay admitting that. Wicklow, I just, guys, it's not. It is a great concept that needs work. So save your time, save your materials. Maybe you pursue and get all the materials, and you just kind of maybe wait until the general consensus is that it's fixed. Like, you never want to assume right after a change happens that it's going to be perfect, right? So when they say 4.2.1 is going to be the fix for Wicklow, new Wicklow trading system, okay, let's get excited about that. Let's not be depressing and salty about it, but like, I would probably take it with a grain of salt. I would be a little bit hesitant. Let kind of the community tell you that things are fixed before you go and try to do it. That's not a direct comment to you, Dan. It's just, I guess, in general, never trust patches to work on the first time. Or hot fixes. So when I say 4.2.1 has been hot fixed, I don't know. Start out small, or maybe listen to the community before you really get in there and get crazy. Okay. This week in StarCitizen. We're going to do this week in StarCitizen. We're going to do the Roadmap Roundup. We're going to get into the Ship Showdown. But before all of that, I do kind of want to talk about the recent 4.2.1, status. But let's do this week in StarCitizen real quick. All right, to the article. Last week on StarCitizen Live, we officially welcomed Simon Gershon, our new audio director for StarCitizen. The audio team dove into your top questions directly issued from Spectrum, sharing their future plans for immersive ship sounds, VoIP improvements, dynamic NPC chatter, and much more on the horizon. We're also actively addressing key issues from the live 4.2.1 environment. Yes, you are. With a new hotfix getting ready to be rolled out to all servers later today. That was Monday. This should solve the issue with stacked cargo boxes on freight elevators that many of you have recently flagged. While we continue improving 4.2.1, progress on Alpha 4.3.0 or 0 is well underway. The team's focused on building out to the next major update with more improvements, shaped by your feedback and reports. Now let's see what's going on this week. Monday, we had This Week in StarCitizen. Tuesday, Ship Showdown started for the Phase 1. There's no real action on your part as far as voting goes, but submitting your creative design is live right now, right? So it's live right now. We'll get into the details towards the end-ish part of the podcast. But right now, Phase 1 is live, and that's really it. Wednesday, Roadmap Update. Still Ship Showdown. Thursday, Ship Showdown. Friday, we have an RSI weekly newsletter and Ship Showdown. But they're also going to be giving us a leaderboard update for this Friday. So that'll be kind of fun to kind of get a sneak peek on who is winning. And actually, as I say that, let me see if I can easily find this. Can I find? I'm not going to be able to find it, guys. I've been doing a really cool poll on Soul Provision. It's a word cloud, right? It's like the more a word gets submitted, the larger it is, like on the image. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I asked Soul Provision, like, hey, submit what you think, which ship you think is going to win for the Ship Showdown. And right now, the Raft is completely killing the competition. So a little bit of a preview. I'm pretty sure after today, we will learn that the Raft is in lead. I don't know if it's going to win the whole thing, but I think it is. It's my personal contender to win it all this year. So more to come. More to come. Okay. Again, At the beginning of every episode, my introduction says to grab a glass of Radagast, sit back and enjoy. So again, if you're driving, don't do it. Don't do it, guys. Some of y'all are crazy. Don't do it. Wait until you get to, I don't know, at least the gas station. Listen. Is 421 broken? Yeah. Is it very, very, very difficult to get anything accomplished in this event? Yes. Do we have to stand on one leg, hop around in circles in order for a freight elevator to go down or come up? Yeah, I mean, the community, yet again, is kind of problem solving and creating workarounds. So, yes, all of that is true. All that is true. Last night's Org Night. It's kind of funny. So last night's Org Night, we were going to split into two groups. One group was going to go to Stormbreaker to kind of get, away from the event and just enjoy the game. And then Groza came back and said that was broken. So we all kind of came together in one group, and we ended up doing the event, the Race for Stanton, to try to get materials and our SCUs. But we still broke up into smaller groups. Like there was a group that went and mined. There was a group that did the large ship defend missions and whatever. So it was a social night, and like we all kind of got through the event together. Okay. I'm trying to like figure out like how I want to approach this conversation. Number one, you don't have to get 2,800 SCUs for each one of the corporations, right? I would say try to do it for your favorite corporation, right? And then back away from the event. So like you don't have to add to your frustrations and do the same thing multiple times across all four corporations. And there's a reason why I'm saying this, right? So number one, take your time. I don't think it's worth getting it completely maxed out in all four, unless you have like completionist issues or you just have like FOMO, which is all relative to gamers. Like that's what gamers do. That's what we are, especially MMO gamers. Like we want 100% completion. Number two, I very much predict that this event will be extended. So if y'all go back to Xenothreat, remember the new raid that came out this year or earlier this, was it this year or last year? It might've been last year, guys. In fact, I think it was last year, but the Xenothreat, no, was it this year? I don't even care anymore. So the last time Xenothreat hit, if y'all remember, it was like, you have to do all these missions in order to get, it was either gear or it was access to purchase the F7 or one of those things. And they extended that, but for less issues. Like there was less going on with that global event, and they still extended the Xenothreat raid. So just remember that this event is totally borged. Almost every single mission type is really, really, really difficult to get anything done. And so much work has been put into the reward system. The armor, the items, the unique items, the obviously the ship paints, like all of that has been painstakingly, created and developed and produced, right? I can't imagine that CIG would be like, well, sucks for everybody trying to get it. Like it was very difficult, and we're still going to constrain you to just a few weeks to get it. I truly think this is going to go into 4.3. I have no data to back that up. I just, looking at precedent, looking at like historical data from CIG, I truly think that this is going to be extended. So even more of a reason to like take your time. But here's the deal. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm still jaded or still blinded by my love for this project, but like this will continue to be a podcast that is forward thinking and that is, leaning optimistic. If you actually just took your time and did the mission how it was intended. Now, granted, if it works, I know some of you are like yelling at the radio right now. if it works, just like enjoy the game for what it is. And let me kind of explain my experience here. So first off, don't do any shipments. Don't do it. Like, you will be frustrated. So don't take a small, medium, or heavy shipment. All freight elevators are broken. And like, it's very rare to find one that works. So beyond that conversation. So I already told you the way to cheese one of those large cargo recoveries. Get a raft, rent a raft, heck, buy a raft. You should. It's my go-to. It is the one ship that I say you have to have in StarCitizen. Have to. It's just a phenomenal ship. But take that raft, go to a planet-side large cargo recovery mission. It's the 150,000 credits, mission. Fly right over where all the items are. Turn your ship backwards so the tractor beam is facing the packages. Be about 150 meters ish so that the small arm fire and stuff doesn't really reach you. And then just tractor that in and go. That gets really boring. And for me, it gets really boring and repetitive. I'm like, man, I don't really want to do this. So last night I was like, screw it. I'm going to treat this like a legitimate, serious mission. I got into the Asgard, right? I got into the Asgard solo, and I flew out to one of the derelict sites on Daymar. First off, I really like this mission because it's allowing me to discover sites around the verse that I've never seen before. These derelict sites are kind of maybe 100 meters, maybe 1,000 meters away from like a known point. It's like a mining facility, but then it kind of gets you away at this like this wreckage or a little outpost. I've been really enjoying like looking at the new sites. And so you get out there, and I took the Asgard, but I treated it like a mission that it deserved, right? So I landed about 500 meters away. And, I not combat crawled, but I made my way with a sniper rifle and like a P4 on my back. Took out all the enemy, so I went in and FPS'd everybody. Now, were they glitching around and were they kind of hopping on the screen? Guys, if you're listening to this podcast, it's still StarCitizen. You know what I mean? Like these are the expectations at this point. So yes, like the desync was pretty rough, but it was kind of fun to take the mission for what it was. Hiding behind corners, taking cover, using med pins, right? Killing everything, looting the bodies, going and finding cargo crates. Yes. Did it take a full hour to do? Sure. Did I only get 90-ish SCUs out of it for the mission turn in? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm already only going to do one corporation anyways. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have the time or bandwidth to do all four. So if I have to finish up Crusader in the next probably 2 days, I'm going to take my time doing it. And this is a really fun mission to do it. And so as a gaming community, as listeners to the Beyond the Verse podcast, like, can we sit here and fester in kind of the anger? Guys, there's other podcasts for that. There's other communities for that. If you want to fester in that negativity, I love you guys, and we're always going to be here. So if you want to go and kind of be in that space, that's fine. There are some therapists that will tell you that that's healthy. Go there, get it out of your system. We're always going to be here when you come back, and we'll have that positive, twist that you might want. But I don't know. I just choose. I choose peace at the same time. Like, it is okay to be critical too. And I think for the last two episodes, episode 113, episode 114, I think I've been critical. And I think Groza and Jenna were also critical. Like, we can be critical, but enjoy the game for what it is. Going on social media right now is painful. And I've contributed to that a little bit. Like, hey, this hotfix didn't fix anything, but that's more me trying to get like communication out to the community. Right. It's more like letting you know if you had to choose between two games, right, in 30 minutes before you go to work, maybe you come across a Beyond the Verse podcast, social media post that says, hey, it's not fixed. Maybe that informs you to go play a different game. That's kind of my hope, right? To kind of prevent you from getting into the game and being mad and hating everything. So yes, I've contributed a little bit to the negativity, but honestly, like 4.3 was mentioned in the Roadmap Roundup and people are mad because the game's not ready for 4.3. Honestly, this time right now, it is optimal to bring in 4.3 because the event in 4.2.1 is so broken. I'm not saying neglect it and just let it be a problem forever. But like, okay, we tried this. We tried this cargo thing. It friggin' sucks. Okay, let's like move on from it. Please, 4.3. 4.3, please come. give us another sandbox activity called Onyx Zones. We'll get into that here in a second. But give us something new so we can get away from this nonsense and go back to enjoying the game. You know, and maybe having 4.3 as new content will kind of get a lot of the parking lot citizen away from the freight elevator so you can do both. You can do this event in a more peaceful environment while some of the other parts of the community are doing the Onyx zones. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and the podcast and the brand will continue to be its positive, outlook self. And, if that's your style, hang around. That's just who we are. And that's our message moving forward. Yeah. I think I've said enough. Roadmap Roundup. Okay. This one was kind of fun to get into. And I don't know. I'll explain here in a little bit. But this is hilarious, guys. So y'all know in the last couple episodes, I've been kind of critical of the Roadmap Roundup because it doesn't really say anything. Check out 4.2.1. Notable changes, keyword changes, right? Notable changes, July 30th, and the release view for 4.2.1 is they've all been set to released. Really? I don't know. We're right in the middle of 4.2.1. Of course, it's all been released. All right, 4.3. Silly. Hey, surprise. 4.3 is getting new hairstyles. That's not a negative critique. Every single roadmap update or every single patch has introduced new hairstyles. That's great. Like that is a positive thing. Customer player customization is always going to be important to the community, right? Dynamic snow, we already knew that this was coming, so not new, but the snow is going to be phenomenal. The Wicklow special ships 4.3, just adding the following special ships to the Wicklow's Emporium. The Misk Starlancer Tack, the Drake Golem, Anvil Terrapin Medic with upgraded components and a unique base livery. Paint job. And then these rewards will be unlocked by completing the Wicklow's contract. But again, guys, proceed with caution. It is still Wicklow. Proceed with caution. All right, we got some Splinter Cell combat stealth suits. The ASD Light combat stealth suit. That's going to be, fun. I think we talked a little bit about stealth in this game and what that can look like, and it better be black. It better be black or gray, maybe camo, but even camo with black and gray is worthless. It's pointless. I say that. So here's the deal. For some of you who have not been in the military, and even if you were in the military and maybe you weren't tier 1, maybe you weren't, combat ops, you actually don't want to wear solid black, right? You would think, your operations are at night. You would think, the darker the better. Believe it or not, solid black makes you silhouette. It is a very obvious backdrop issue. So go outside tonight. Maybe it's early in the morning or maybe it's late at night. Go outside and just see how the darkness is not black, right? Like seriously, go out there and check it out. You'll go out there and things are gray, right? Things are gray. You do have multiple colors. You do have, you still have objects and colors that stand out. In fact, if things were truly black, you wouldn't see anything. So you want to stay away from like straight black. What I mean by black and gray is somewhat of a digital camo pattern that really tricks the eyes. Maybe some tans, maybe some greens, but we're talking like a filter of black or gray. So give me the khakis, the wood colors, the urban warfare colors. Like give me all those colors, but put a black or gray filter on where it makes it super, super, super dark. That is what you should have in a stealth suit. I hope that makes sense. You don't want to be full black. So when you get into like Splinter Cell and you're like, okay, that's cute. Like the dude's wearing all black with very, very bright green night vision goggles. Like that is, come on guys. That's ridiculous. Somebody definitely created that without thinking or without having the experience in real life. All right, moving on. The Wicklow Light Combat Stealth Suit. Okay, here we go. Onyx Facilities. I'm actually going to skip this real quick and go to cooperative zones. So if y'all remember several roadmap roundups ago, we talked about cooperative zones. It's like the PvE version of contested zones, and it's like more puzzle solving and things in the environment that you have to kind of deal with to get past. But it's been temporarily removed. So cooperative zones are temporarily removed as it won't be ready in time for Alpha 4.3. But listen, the Onyx facility missions are now being categorized as sandbox activities rather than cooperative zones. So what they've done, they've either changed the naming convention or what the cooperative zones are into the Onyx facility, or they've rearranged cards. I think it's more the latter. I think what they've done is this idea of cooperative zones, because it's not ready. It's like it's tabled. It's put off to the side. And the Onyx facility missions are being brought in. If you look back at the rest of this year or the last 7 months, it's gone from like cargo to FPS. Cargo, FPS. Well, the event that's going on right now is very cargo, obviously. And so I think we're going back to like a Stormbreaker. We're going back to this FPS type mentality. And so the Onyx facilities, it's an abandoned underground facility. So reading straight from the Roadmap Roundup, located on every moon of the Stanton system, these enormous multi-level structures are used for the new sandbox activity coming in Alpha 4.3. This card has been renamed from Abandoned Underground Facilities to the Onyx Facilities. So that's like the big news, right? The big news is that 4.3 is going to have underground facilities, but massive iterations of them. So should be fun, right? Should be fun. Now, what that means, even if it is PvE focused, it means that the murder hobos are going to hang out at those sites. So just get ready for PvP. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. Just it's going to end up being PvP regardless. But to the point of the comment section, that's natural in MMOs. Right. Anytime that there's new content, the majority of the community will flock to that content. But what that also means is it frees up previous patches. So like Hathor will be more available. Contested zones will be more available. Stormbreaker will be more available. So if that does become your experience, give it a patch or two to really get into the Onyx facilities. Go explore some of these ADS sites. Right. So let that be kind of something you can fall back on. All right, here we go. It is time. It is time for the Ship Showdown 2955. One of my personal favorite times of the year because it is so community driven. So community driven. So I have been doing this for 4 years now at this point. In fact, so much so, I'm going to show you my spreadsheet. The infamous spreadsheet is ready to go, guys. So I love numbers. This is probably not the first time you've ever, heard me say this if you are following my content. But I've been doing this again for 4 years, or this is my 4th year. So here's the 2024 Ship Showdown. Look at all these numbers and beautiful graphics on your screen. Look at this. Look at this. This gets me excited. 2023, a little bit smaller, right? 2022, a little bit smaller. But I've been doing this since 2022, right? So we're doing it again. The same kind of idea. Here is 2025's. I'm going to be posting this every single morning in social media, and over in Soul Provision, I'm going to be putting a poll just to kind of get the measurement of how Soul Provision feels about each ship. But we will be tracking this, and this is what you'll be expecting to see every single day on our socials. But let's go back First off, I'll explain what the Ship Showdown actually is. Just know that since 2949, so this is 6 years in the running, it was Caterpillar that won. So the very first Ship Showdown winner was the Caterpillar. And then 2950 was the Carrack. 2951 was a community joke, the MPUV Cargo. 2952 was the Carrack again. So the Carrack won twice. 2953 was the Corsair. Last year, 2954 was the F8C Lightning. And this year, it's going to be the Raft. It should be the Raft. I think it deserves to win. But let's get into what the Ship Showdown is. So it's broken into 3 phases. Phase 1 is happening right now, July 29th through August 12th. This is an opportunity for the community to put in your creative submission. So whether it's artwork, whether it is something physical or drawn, a screenshot in the game, a song. Guys, we have people in the Soul Provision org that are creating songs about their favorite ship. You are asked to just put something together that's super creative. Right. And then the heavy winners or the heavy numbers will be put into divisions, which you can see here on my screen. The divisions are heavy duty division, the speed demons division, the run and gun division, the Pathfinder division, the freighter division, the alien division, the road warrior division, and the underdog division, which breaks down to industrial, racing, combat, exploration, transport, alien, ground, and the little ones. So they will be bucketized, categorized into those divisions. And then for phase 2, which is the live showdown, that's August 18 through September 2nd, we'll go in and vote. So for like 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to be voting every single day against 2 ships that are competing. It'll be like the Asgard versus the Valkyrie in the community, which that would be an amazing, confrontation. But the Asgard versus the Valkyrie. And then you as a community member or as a player would go onto the RSI website. This is not in game, which how cool would it be if it was? But you would go to the RSI website and then take your vote. You just click on a little button and it casts your vote. And then the winner moves on to the next bracket or the next round. And the winner will be crowned on September 2nd. All right. So remaining time to submit and vote, guys, you, as of right now, 5:45 a.m. in Austin, Texas, 11 days, 9 hours, 14 minutes, and 43 seconds to submit your ship. Here are some ideas, right? Some artwork of the Polaris. We've got, so it looks like screenshots, really awesome screenshot of the Zeus by Cybertech X. That's phenomenal. Got a community together and put some Zeuses together. There is our raft. What else we got here? We got some paint job manipulation. That's super cool. Rubensaurus is highlighted. Hey, shout out to a really good friend of ours. So this is just really fun. It's just a really fun event to really showcase the creativity. Can I just take a second? So, all right. I don't feel like I have to explain myself to people who are listening right now. I truly don't. But I submitted not for the contest. Well, I mean, I hashtag Ship Showdown, so I guess maybe it was for the contest, but not with the intent. I did. I went to AI. I went to ChatGPT and wrote like a 5,000 character prompt of like, hey, I want the raft to win. I had to describe what the raft was. I had to put links and kind of teach. I had to teach AI like what it was. Here's what the raft is. Here's the current conditions of 421. Give me something that looks, sad and kind of plays into the humor of what players are experiencing. And I had it create a very kind of sad image of the raft. In fact, I'll pull it up. And like, I need y'all to know that I did it for humor, not to like cheat. But people got really, really vocal about this. Like, here, let's do this. This is the image. So the script or the text reads, "Raise the raft. The raft has suffered with us. It's glitched. It's overloaded. It's yelled, 'Why won't you go down?' If any ship deserves a win in 2955, it's the one trapped on every broken freight elevator in Stanton." So here's your hashtag Ship Showdown with the little, Argo, but it's the Argo raft with the freight elevator in the background, and it's looking super sad. I went for humor. I wanted to kind of play into the themes, the motifs of what players were experiencing. Now, I don't mean anything weird by this, but if for whatever reason this won, I don't need the prize. It would go right back to sole provision. I would give it away. I would do a drawing. Like, I don't need it. Like, I don't need it. So it was never the intention of using artificial intelligence in order to get a leg up on competition. So, and I say that because, like, I don't know. I never knew, as embedded as I am in social media and in content creation, I never knew that there was this animosity towards like intellectual property when it comes to AI, right? And it's weird because like my job at Amazon, where basically we go from product managers to prompt managers, because we are evolving into this AI world. And so in Amazon, in my current role, it's like we are embedded. We do this artificial intelligence thing, and it's okay and it's encouraged, and that's the direction we're headed. And so I wrote this amazing prompt, again, 5,000 characters. It's a huge prompt, and I taught it what it needed to do. And I'm proud of the product. I thought it was hilarious. I thought the image was funny, played into, like I said, emotions of the game. But it seems like there was this intellectual property debate that was going on of like, man, way to go using AI. I mean, to be fair, writing that prompt probably took more time than you taking a screenshot. So I don't know, like where's the debate here? Like, you're flying around playing the game and you took a screenshot, and these are phenomenal screenshots. It's not like a demeasuring contest. It's not like you better than me or I'm better than you, but like that's a method. That's the most common method, is a very phenomenal screenshot. Maybe you take it into Lightroom and maybe you do some edits to it. Like, yeah, I'm sure that's the common practice. But like writing the script probably took me about 15 minutes to 30 minutes to do. Probably as much time as it took to get into Lightroom and make your edits on the screenshot. Okay, so like where's the debate here? Did I take a pencil and draw? Well, no, but neither did you. Right? Like, most people hit the Windows print screen button keys. So like that little 2 strokes is your entry. So it's a weird, I don't know. I'm still learning. Now, full transparency to my listeners and to my viewers, I'm doing my homework and researching. Like, if this is like a real thing, like maybe I should apologize, but I don't know. I'll stop on this. But like with the Ship Showdown, you're submitting your own work. Now, define your own work. A screenshot's not necessarily your own work, right? It's the developers, and you're just playing the game. So I don't really know, guys. I don't really know what that means. I don't really know what the guardrails are on like what you should consider submissions or not. So here's my ending line. Here's my conclusion. F it all. Submit what you want to submit. You know your brand. You know what makes you excited about the game, what you're proud of. If those are screenshots, I'm thinking of the 3 people in Sole Provision that are freaking phenomenal at screenshots. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. I don't really want to win. Do your thing. And just enjoy it and be happy with it. Submit what you are passionate about and what you can stand behind and what you want your brand to be behind, right? And just submit it. And the best of luck to you, right? I don't know. I hope I didn't belabor that too much. It's just kind of an experience that I had this last week. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Like, is it intellectual laziness? And if so, how is it different than other submissions? Now, there are some freaking phenomenal submissions. I will say this. I don't think any of it, I don't think screenshots should win, and I don't think AI should win when you've got this. Like, they're building freaking Crusader ships out of Legos. Somebody knitted this freelancer. Might be, it's a freelancer. I was going to say Starlancer, right? Pencil drawn, right? This pencil drawn of the raft should win. Like over mine. I agree with all of that. But what you will find out very quickly in this competition is it's not about what should win. This is a popularity contest, right? And that's also kind of the negative thing about this, but I don't really want to get into that. But this really is a popularity contest. If a huge following comes together and, like, let's say a massive streamer says, hey, everybody, let's come together and vote the Raptor will win it all. The Raptor will literally win every single thing in here, which would be hilarious, by the way, because you have to have 50 referrals in order to get the Raptor. If it wins, they have to sell it. They have to sell it to the rest of the community. So wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, let's try to do that. That'd be kind of funny. So I don't know, guys, or maybe a limited whole ship. A limited whole ship, they would have to sell it. Well, I say the word have to. They can do whatever the heck they want to do. But usually what happens is the winner is put, like the top 4 ships get put into a pack. And then around IAE, you can buy that pack. And it'd be really kind of awkward if they left out the Raptor, if it won. So just, I don't know. If I'm going to charge the community, it's like, think of it that way. If it's a popularity contest and the best ship is not necessarily going to win, let's like call CIG's bluff. Let's pick a ship like the Raptor and push that forward. I don't know. Let's see what happens. The rest of this is just more information of the same. Here's a spectrum of the phase 1 approach. There's also some information about moving on to phase 2 as well, how to look at the results and the winners. So this is good information as well. Here is the rally behind your favorite ships. Again, I think this is more of the same, more of like how to look at, the new items. And while you're rally behind your favorite, you could become a champion yourself and win a brand new RSI Meteor. So it's not even for like getting your ship across the starting line. It's also, you can win if you're the number 1 viewed, ship. You can win a brand new RSI Meteor. So pretty cool there. How to do it. And that's it, guys. That is it as far as everything that I had to go through on this show. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I had another topic I thought, but we might push that to next week. Yeah, let's go ahead and push that to next week. So I would love to hear your thoughts on 421. How's it going for you? How far did you make it into the event? How far are you going to take it in the event? Are you going to go through all 4? Again, congrats if you've done more than 1. I'll say that at least. What are your expectations for 4-3? Right? Like, there is some fun to be had with new content, new locations around every moon in Stanton. Like, that's pretty exciting for the Onyx facilities. Which ship do you want to win? Of all 150 plus ships in the game, what is your go-to? Not maybe your everyday driver, but if somebody with infinite amount of money was like, you know what? I'm going to play StarCitizen. What ship should I get? You actually probably wouldn't recommend like an Idris, because that takes a crew. Usually it takes a crew to run. So what would be your go-to ship? Is it the Asgard? Is it the Zeus? The Cuddy Black? Like, push that forward. I want to know your thoughts there as well. Way too many ships to do a poll. So I'm not going to ask that in a poll for the comment section on Spotify. But yeah, I would love to hear what my listeners think about who's going to win. And with that, let's wrap this up. If you want to become part of the conversation, you can do so by responding to that poll, by responding to the comment section in Spotify. You can email us at contact@beyondtheversehq.com. And then go to our website, beyondtheversehq.com or soulprovision.com, for all things podcast, the in-game community, Soul Provision, literally anything. We are participating in a philanthropy this year for Extra Life. All proceeds go to children's hospitals, straight pass through. We don't see any of the money, but we've still raised about almost half our goal. So I'm excited there. Let's keep it going, keep pushing it. I am planning on the Austin, Texas CitizenCon Direct. I am the main MC alongside Paul, the Astro Historian, and Buster the Destroyer. I actually don't know Buster's first name. or I don't know her name, but Buster the Destroyer will also be there as well. But we're hosting with CIG here in Austin. So really excited about that. More details to come. Yeah. And guys, please, please, please find your happiness in this game. And if it's not making you happy, take a break from it. StarCitizen, as much as we love this project, as much as we want to see this succeed, don't get burnt out on it now. Right? We are so close to Squadron 42. Like, find the things that make you happy and excited. If not, go. Like right now, I'm going and I'm playing like Metal Gear Solid 5. That's a 10-year-old game, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So if a cargo mission fails, I'm murdering people over in Metal Gear Solid 5. So take that break, come back to the podcast. We're always going to be here. So if you want to play other games and just listen to us, by all means, that's why we're here. That's why I'm here. But I really hope this finds you well, right? Safe travels as you traverse beyond the verse. Take care, everybody.